I'm Malcolm Nance.
I'm just
Malcolm
glad
Nance
to get-
live in studio.
Yeah, I'm here for the donuts, baby.
Here for the-
That's all I come
Oh, we got
for.
donuts over there.
and to do Bill Maher tonight. Tune in for Malcolm Nance.
That's gonna be an event. Yeah, I'm gonna be on Real Time with Bill Maher. That's why I'm here in Los Angeles.
Yes.
As the main guest.
Yes.
And we are going to talk about Ukraine and Chinese spy balloon pinatas.
Yeah. Will you be addressing all the, what should we call them, CS bitches at this point? That are like, you aren't fighting in Ukraine, you're in a hotel bar.
This is so funny because this theme started on the right wing very early on in the war.
Yeah.
And if you recall, there was that video where MSNBC was interviewing me with
Yes.
Ali Arouzi.
Right.
And I was in Western Ukraine. I was in Lviv. I was in this yellow jacket. And while we're sitting there, a cruise missile attack not only is happening, it's literally landing in the neighborhood
Which
that we're
hardly
in.
ever happens in hotel bars.
No, yeah, and it killed 6 of my neighbors. We're literally sitting there, and I'm checking the bearing that they were coming in east to west axis, and starts exploding there.
I saw
have
it.
people going, there's some moron. I don't even, the funny thing about the internet and Twitter and all these things is there are a lot of idiots that I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's some kind of Miles Cheong or something.
Yeah.
He's a kid that literally lives in a basement in Kuala Lumpur, and he's like a huge right-wing Elon Musk stan, commentator on American conservatism.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's never been outside his basement. And he puts this video up, which, if you're a professional in my world, you're like, dang, that guy, real time. I mean, he's doing it real time, right? Analysis, I'm calling him correctly, right? And this guy's like, oh, I'll never get enough of this fake ass role play. And I'm like, 6 people literally just died.
I saw it
behind me
live.
when
I
the
remember watching it.
happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I have a challenge for all you fakes. All right, you what do you call them? The something.
Yes, bitches.
Yeah,
you don't have a bleep button, so you can't.
Oh, darn. And I got a challenge for you. Anybody's got a problem? I challenge you to meet me at the Medica border crossing from Poland to Ukraine, and I will bring you the Ben Shapiro's, the Jack Posobiec. You want to talk about a wussy? He made up a cartoon comic book of himself as 007, Agent Poso, and I will bring you to the furthest edge of the Eastern battlefront. Because when I come back to Ukraine, I go back to 3rd Battalion Legion, and I'm back on active duty, and we will bring you, and we'll see how long you last under Russian artillery bombardment. Crying.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Walking, literally walking the talk.
First hour challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
there you
first
go.
10
there you
minutes,
go.
30 seconds.
Gauntlet's been thrown.
Where do we even?
Hard.
What a week to have you in studio. Not just the, what do you call it, the balloon, that story.
Yeah.
But however, oh my God, Marjorie Taylor Greene screaming like a lunatic at the intelligence briefing.
Oh my God.
Dressed as the Chinese balloon.
That's right.
I can't. And anyway, the big news: Mike Pence has been subpoenaed by Jack Smith. So we'll talk. We'll have Glenn Kirshner in just a few minutes. But I gotta say,
Glenn,
I'm a little happy clappy. But he's obviously moving up the. I mean, what's
the
Pence,
food chain?
What's Pence gonna do? He tried to have him killed. I mean, either he can tell the truth. That's the best revenge.
Yeah, but
right?
there's no executive privilege for this anymore.
No.
Yeah.
All right, none.
He's trying.
He isn't president of the United States, and that's all Pence has. The only thing he can do, and I'm sure Glenn will explain it, is try to take this to the courts so he doesn't have to go in. But you're under oath now, bro.
Yeah.
You're under oath. The
Right.
one thing he couldn't be put under, and it's going to be, here's the first question. Did he try to kill you, man? And what are you going to say? I plead the fifth?
Yeah.
All right? You're going to say that it's going to incriminate you if you answer that this man tried to have 10,000 people kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. But
Mike Pence is just going to say he wanted me to be more hung.
What? What?
Wait, what?
Wait, what? That didn't sound
Wait,
right.
the delivery
Mother's
of that,
not going to like
the
that.
delivery of that joke. Let me help you with the delivery. Of that joke. Mike Pence be like, brother just wanted me more hung. And I can't get more hung than this.
I think you
I
meant
mean,
to be
what a
hung.
day.
Without mommy's assistance.
What a day to have Malcolm Nance in studio. Can I just say, right? We might finally get terrorism expert. We might get, right, justice for January 6th. We have Tulsi Gabbard
Wait.
audio for you. I mean, what
it was
better
going
a
so
day?
well until you mentioned that. Oh, boy.
Better a day could you be?
She was very
here?
upset yesterday.
And I gotta ask you, and obviously we'll talk to Glenn about this too.
Yeah.
This Charles McGonigal story,
Oh.
I feel like has a lot more shoes to drop. Does it not prove everything you've said in every single one of your books? The Durham and Barr stories, all of it, that they're investigating at least the Durham?
In Plot to Hack America, which I wrote, I wrote that in 4 weeks. I got it out 6 weeks before the election. And one of the things that I kept telling people is, as you read this book, which was an intelligence analysis of how Russia had to have hacked us, and which organizations, personnel would be involved in that. And I kept saying, if you notice there are gaps in the story, it is not an absence of facts. It's a black hole of facts. That facts have been pulled in there, and at some point we're going to have to cross the event horizon and find out what is there, what is not there that must be there.
Yeah.
Charles McGonigal is one of the major things that it had to be there. Who was leaking from the New York office? Who was assisting?
Have you ever heard the
Oleg
expression,
Deripaska?
coincidence takes a lot of planning?
Nance's Law, baby.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I stole this very old.
But you're absolutely right.
thing.
He's the where did all this come? Where did the leak about there's no connection between Trump and Russia? Where did the leak about Hillary's emails?
If you consider him a black hole, you see all the gravitational pull of other stories pointing to that little space of nothingness. Now we can fill it in. That there is that this guy may have been a massive conspirator. He has been charged essentially with acts that could be concluded as espionage, working with an Albanian intelligence officer for Oleg Deripaska, an FBI agent. The last time we had this talk was Aldrich Ames, the FBI agent that was a spy from Moscow who sent people to his death. Now we see that this guy tried to send American democracy to its death.
In totally unrelated story that has nothing to do with spies, Edward Snowden writes,
"Traitor."
Excuse me. Bless you. He tweeted, the whole system revolves around the idea that the majority can be made to believe anything so long as it's repeated loudly and often. And you just said the majority can be made to believe anything, like Snowden is a hero because he betrayed his own country and people and endangered our defense by running to become a citizen of an ex-KGB dictator. I mean, there's God. Tulsi Gabbard sitting there, trying to say she's not. Let's just do this.
Did she say
16? Yeah.
Oh, she testified before Congress yesterday.
Yeah, here she is.
Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton accused me, a sitting member of Congress, a soldier, and a candidate running for president, of being, quote, groomed by the Russians.
Yeah. Yep. And
her baseless smear worked as intended.
That's true.
It was something that was repeated over and over, headline after headline, article after article, pushed online in every way. This had the harmful impact that was intended. I could give you many examples of interactions that I've had with people throughout that campaign and still today.
And where's the lie detected?
Hold it. I got to say something. A couple of years ago, Tom Perez, some people in my district were like, please run for Congress.
Yeah.
And Tom Perez was like, you're not going to like this job, Malcolm. You got a bigger mouthpiece. And when I hear things like this, cuts like this, and I think, I really wish I had been on that panel.
Yeah.
Right? Because I would have literally shouted out, I would have said, and where's the lie?
Yeah.
You are groomed by Moscow, are you not? You're not? You just love them intrinsically?
Did anyone ask her why they run her clips on RT?
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
They're absolutely Putin's
No,
talking
and she
points.
plays that soldier thing. I'm sorry. She's working at Psychological War Operations Command down there, and she betrays America every day. I don't know how the officer above her writes her fit reps.
Yeah.
But we're going to find out someday.
Yeah.
Many fine, honorable service members have flipped to enemy powers and become traitors. Benedict Arnold, for example.
Yes.
Yeah. Edward Snowden.
I'm sorry. I know you're against torture, but here's some more Tulsi Gabbard.
More recently, U.S. Senator Mitt Romney accused me of treason, a crime that is punishable by death under our laws. I challenged him to back this serious allegation up with evidence. What was this based on? There was no response. no explanation, no evidence, and certainly no apology.
Have you noticed they become a whiny little bitch party? They're just always the victim of everything.
She is not. I'm going to go on. I've always say this. I've been saying this for years. Treason is the only crime listed in the Constitution of the United States. It has very specific parameters, all of which were laid down by Benedict Arnold. You cannot blame someone's children for someone else's treason. Mm-hmm. You must be at war. You must provide aid, comfort, and benefit to a foreign power in a time of war. She's right. She should not have been charged with treason. Right? Now, that she betrays the values of America every time she opens her mouth, 100%. Yeah. That she, is, there's a whole litany of words that I can come up with. You don't have to use treason for Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah. All right? Be, crazy is a good word that pops up into my head. Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you guys haven't heard the story of her background and her religious upbringing in a cult, go to QAnon Anonymous podcast and listen to that episode. I heard it while I was in Paris, and I was just like, this woman got around all of us. She did a full, she just tricked the entire Democratic Party by, peace, love, and happiness, but works for a hard right-wing Indian extremist group. She's good friends with Prime Minister Modi.
Did we get those donuts?
Yeah. I'm trying to shove them in my mouth.
Okay. Well, then you get one more Tulsi soundbite.
Okay.
As we sit here today, the danger is that if we choose to reject or challenge whatever those in power declare is the so-called truth, we are accused of being anti-authority. We are accused of being a danger to society, accused of spreading misinformation, and are then targeted, smeared, and called things like Russian asset, white supremacist, bigot, racist, sexist, extremist, traitor, and so on.
Except the last one. All right.
It's eerie, right? They're exactly Putin's talking points on Ukraine or whatever the subject.
Oh, yeah. She was a huge fan of Bashar al-Assad in Syria. Mm-hmm. She denied chemical weapons attacks. You're supposedly a United States congressman who has access to classified information when you're over at Special Operations Command. Read the read board. That's what we say in the spy world, right? That's that big binder of hundreds of pages of intelligence put out every day to make you smarter. Yeah. She don't, all right? She believes Fox News. She believes all the crazy out there. Mm-hmm. Don't believe her. Facts are what they are. The truth is before your eyes. By trying to muddy these waters, which is what this panel is, it's just a wine session, all right, for right-wingers. Yeah. And hence, Tulsi Gabbard shows up.
Yeah, there she is.
Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner wherever you generally get your podcasts.